Alright, hi everybody. Sorry it's been a minute since I recorded a yoga video, but the good news is I took the time to actually figure out the best way to do this, because last time, if you watched that video, it was kind of a clusterfest. Kept having my camera shut down, and so this way I've got new streaming software and the webcam, and so hopefully everything will come together very smoothly. We will see. So to continue the series that I began back when I first started the training, we'll be moving on from the first three chakras, first three energy centers in the body, and up to the fourth, which is located at the heart center. I would say it's one of the ones that I've seen from personal experience that's most commonly focused on in yoga classes, and so you may be familiar with it. And there's many different poses that we do very regularly that help open up that area. But I think that it's one that we need to be particularly careful about how we go about healing it and opening it, because it is, as the name implies, it's the center where love is most active, where old hurts can open up very easily. And it has to do with forgiveness, with letting go. And for that reason, as a yoga teacher, I feel a great deal of responsibility to make sure that these practices where we're working with the heart chakra become safe and accessible. And so in that spirit, I just encourage you, if you're practicing with this video, to set yourself up for success by creating a comfortable space for yourself, whatever that looks like. Feel free to have a blanket or two nearby. Feel free also to change up the practice in any way that would make it feel more supported for you and make it feel like something that is providing healing, not pushing you past the point of challenge. What we'll be doing today is focusing more on poses that create openness in the heart and the chest and the shoulders. Depending on what you're bringing in physically, it may feel great, it may feel more challenging. Just don't bring yourself to the point of pinching pain. And then we'll close out our practice today with a metta meditation, which is a loving kindness meditation. We'll be using some traditional words and imagery that will bring up to create a sense of love and compassion. And it'll be about an hour-long practice. So what you'll need for this practice is a couple of blocks, like I said, maybe a couple of blankets, and then roll out your mat and we'll get started. So to start out, we're going to hold a pose for a bit longer because it's going to take a bit of setup. Grab both of your blocks. Have one that's on the highest setting and one that's on the medium setting. The highest setting block is going to come underneath your head. And then the medium setting block is going to come just below your shoulder blades. So if you've ever had the unfortunate experience of having to wear a bra, it's about where your bra lands. So it's about here. So take a moment, get yourself set up just like that. And what you'll do is, once you've got your blocks in order, carefully lay back. Let's see, I gotta get myself adjusted as well. So let your head rest on the top block. Medium block is just below your shoulder blades. Feel free, if you're feeling any tension in your hips, to bring your blanket underneath your hips. And to start out, place your feet on the floor about hips width and point your knees up to the sky. Adjust your hands so that they're at a comfortable place. If they are not feeling comfortable, drop towards the earth. If you have a couple extra blocks, which you may, or you might grab a couple large books as well, you can place them underneath your hands. You might try bringing your hands a little bit further away from you than you normally would to intentionally open up across your collarbones. You may notice that your shoulders are dropping down towards the earth in the pull of gravity. This is creating a very deep curve in the upper back, in the thoracic spine. And as the shoulders drop down towards the earth, it may enhance that sensation. So we're just jumping right into it here. If this doesn't feel good, you can make a gentler variation of this pose by setting the blocks aside and rolling up a blanket so it's in a noodle shape and resting it in the same place where the medium block is. And you can also bring a pillow under your head, so it's a much gentler version. But I don't know, in this class I decided to we're just going to go for it so you can have the most intense version and always change. So rest here. A few more minutes. This class is going to be a little bit slower, less of a focus on the poses, less of a focus on the physical strengthening than we did in our solar plexus class. By the way, if you see my body doing weird things, Mike Pence's fly has shown up at my house and is now trying to tell me all of his secrets, which I'm not in the mood to hear right now. And landing on various places on my body that just I'm finding super, super annoying. So just so you know what's going on here. Focus your breath into the center of your chest if that feels okay. For some people that can induce sensations of stress. So if that's coming up for you, feel free to focus your breath into your belly instead. In and out through your nose, eyes closed. Again, what's accessible for you right now. And we'll start to make our way into deeper versions if you would like. You can take reclined bound angle legs by bringing the soles of your feet together and spreading your knees further down towards the earth. If you'd like to create a deeper heart opening sensation, take your top block, bring it down to the medium setting, and rest it behind your head. And you'll notice this brings the center of the heart higher in relation to the head and the throat. Only do this if it feels okay for your neck. One last variation to make things deeper. You can extend your legs long. Do a few more breaths here. And to begin to come out, place your hands on the floor. And slowly push your way up to seated. Extend your legs in front of you. Plant your hands to the earth beside your hips. And find a staff pose. Extend the crown of your head to the sky. And focus length into your spine. A few more breaths, focusing on the lengthening sensation in the spine. And find a gentle bend in your knees. Bring your hands to your legs. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, curve your spine into a forward fold. And allow your head to drop towards your knees. And take a few breaths here. And on your next inhale, start to come up to center. Set your blocks off to the side. Cross your knees, roll forward. And find your way to tabletop position. Hands and knees flat back. And take a moment, start to come into your body, especially after we've held that deep heart opener for a while. Notice if there's any particular spot that's feeling tight or tense. If you want to go through any motions that feel good before we come into our cat and cow, you can do so. Or to start to come straight into cat and cow movement by inhaling, lifting hips and chest and face, dropping the belly down for cow pose, and then exhale, round your spine up towards the sky, tuck your chin and pelvis in for cat pose. Inhale, stretch down for cat. Exhale, round up for cat. And continue this motion with your breath for a few more rounds. After your next cat pose and exhale, come back to your tabletop position. Take an inhale, lengthen your spine. As you exhale, shift your hips to the right and look over your right shoulder to make a C shape with your body, or crescent moon shape. So we'll also be focusing on some side bends here. As you inhale, come back to center, tabletop. Exhale, hips shift to the left and look over your left shoulder. And breathe here. And as you inhale, start to come back to center. Extend your right foot behind you. And press the ball of your foot down into the earth, like we're getting set up for our sunbird movements, balancing arm and leg, but we're not going to do that this time. Instead, we're going to keep focusing on the side bends. Keep your right foot planted towards the earth, keep your left hand planted, and then as you inhale, reach your right hand up to the sky. Again, right foot stays planted. Left knee rests against the earth, supported side plank. If you want to look up at your hand, you can. And an option for if you are wanting a little more strengthening, you can float your right leg away from the earth. And bring your right foot to plant to the back of your mat. Press into it and press into your left knee. Slowly make your way up so that your right hand rests against your extended leg. And your left hand reaches up to the sky, and then take a bend to the right. Gate pose. For a little extra stretch and less support, you can reach up with your right hand, grasp your left wrist, stretch a little more to the right. And come back down to your supported side plank. And come back to your tabletop position. Right knee meets the left, right hand to the earth. And extend your left foot behind you. Press it down into the back of your mat. And keep your right hand planted, right knee planted. And spin your left hand up to the sky to find your supported side plank on the opposite side. Again, you can look up at your left hand for a little more balance challenge. You can also start to float your left leg away. If your left foot is floating, bring it back down towards the earth. Come up and bring your left hand to your extended leg. Reach your right hand up to the sky. You can reach it towards the left to find a little more of a bend. And you can reach up with your left hand to grasp your right wrist for even more of a bend here. Plant your right hand back down to the earth and we'll make our way back to tabletop position. And lower all the way down to your belly. And bring your forearms parallel with the front of the mat. Place one hand on top of the other. Then rest your chin against the backs of your hands for a crocodile pose. Feet hips width or a little bit wider. A few more breaths here. Bring your hands to plant beside your low ribs. Point your elbows, or press your elbows against the sides of your body. And as you inhale, lift the top of your torso up, shoulders, upper chest for cobra pose. Gaze down to your mat. Keep the back of your neck long. As you exhale, release back down to the earth. As you inhale, again, lift up to either little cobra pose or press into your hands to lift higher for a full cobra pose. Heart forward, collarbones open and wide. One more inhale here. As you exhale, lower back down to the earth. So we'll do that a few more times, linking breath and motion together. It'll take a little strengthening in the arms. With your inhale, lift your heart, press into your hands, cobra pose. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. A few more times, remembering you can also do baby cobra instead. Inhale, lifting to baby cobra. And exhaling and lowering. A couple more times. After your next cobra pose, lower back down to the earth. And we'll find our way to Sphinx pose by drawing elbows underneath shoulders. The forearms parallel with the sides of the mat. Press into your hands and press into your elbows. Lift the heart. Let it radiate forward. Shoulders relax. Relax the muscles in the back of the body. gaze forward or down. You can also have eyes closed. We'll hold here for a few more breaths. Focus your breath into the center of the heart if that is comfortable for you. So the color associated with the heart chakra is green, hence why I actually thought to wear my green shirt today. So as you close your eyes, you might focus in on that color behind your eyelids. You can stay right here or press into your hands. And then lift your elbows and forearms off the earth. Heart continues to lift and come forward. Hips continue to press down into your mat for seal pose. And if you'd like to link breath and motion together, you take the exhale and come down to Sphinx pose. And as you inhale, lift back up to seal pose. And continue that motion with your breath. Exhaling down. And inhaling, lifting. And continue. And after you come down to your next Sphinx pose, bring your hands to plant into the mat. Lift your way up to hands and knees. Bring your big toes together. Maybe separate your knees wide and start to come back to child's pose. Focus length into your spine. Drop your forehead down. Reach your fingertips forward any amount. Breathe into the back side of your body. Space between your shoulder blades. Breathe deeply in and out through the nose. And as you rest here, maybe focus in on the mantra, I am open to giving and receiving love. A few more breaths here. Allow the rhythm of your breath to slow down. On your next inhale, slither your heart forward, lifting your hips off of your heels. Bring your knees together. Lift your hips high and drop your heart down, reaching your fingertips forward for a puppy pose. You may find that you can bring your chest against the earth, or you may not. But imagine that sensation of drawing the heart forward and down. As you inhale, lift up to your hands and knees. Plant your hands about a handprint closer to the front edge of your mat. Tuck your toes. And start to lift your hips up to the sky and shift your heels back towards the earth for downward facing dog. Your first down dog practice. This isn't going to be a very down dog heavy practice. Feel free to bend one knee and then the other to walk out your dog and stretch the backs of your legs. And come back to a still down dog and nod your head yes slowly. And shake your head no slowly. And bring your head back to stillness. As you inhale, lift your heels and bend your knees. Walk your feet up to your hands and find a forward fold at the top of your mat. Feet hips width or wider. Knees can bend as much as you'd like. Hands drop down to the earth or to blocks, or bring them to your legs or your feet. As you inhale, bring your hands to your shins or your thighs. Bring the crown of your head forward and lengthen your spine for half lift. As you exhale, fold forward. As you inhale one more time, hands to shins or thighs, crown of your head forward. Exhale, fold. This time as you inhale, press through your feet, slowly come up to standing. Reach your fingertips out, and then reach them up to the sky. Press your palms together and bring them to heart center. And find standing mountain pose. Feet under your hips. Root through your feet. Lengthen through your spine. Relax your shoulders. You can have hands at your heart. In fact, for this mountain pose, let's keep hands at the heart. Focus your attention into that space. So when you feel the warmth between your hands, imagine that warmth radiating into your heart center. So really this practice, the poses are important. Everything's all setting up, leading up to our meditation later. So I want to feed strength into the heart center. It's very powerful, but it's also very vulnerable. And it needs to not just be sending love, it needs to also be receiving love and be receptive to love. Or else we get drained very easily. As you inhale, sweep your fingertips out and up to the sky. As you exhale, take a long forward fold. Drop your hands down to the earth and inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands and step back to your downward facing dog. You'll step your right foot between your hands. So we're finding low lunge. You have the option here to drop your back knee down or keep your back toes tucked and keep your back knee lifted. Back knee down will definitely be more supported, so it's up to you. As you inhale, begin to sweep your fingertips up to the sky. So what we do with the arms will remain the same either way. Bend into your front knee and keep it over your front ankle, no further. Deep breaths here. Inhale. As you exhale, take a twist towards your front leg, reaching your left hand forward and right hand behind for open arm twists. Rotate your inner thighs in towards each other. Open across your collarbones. Maybe look back at your right hand. stay here, or lean forward. Hook your left elbow outside your front thigh and work your hands to heart center. Again, focus your attention into that space. And maybe look over your right shoulder one more time, a couple more breaths. One more inhale. As you exhale, frame your front foot with your hands and step back to your downward facing dog, or take a tabletop position. Or if you need a rest, you can always come to child's pose. And take a few breaths here. Step your left foot between your hands. Breathe here to stay on the ball of your back foot, or drop your back knee down. Either way. Root firmly through your feet. As you are ready, begin to lift your fingertips up to the sky for either low lunge or crescent warrior. Rotate tension between your inner legs. Breathe here. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, twist towards your front leg, reaching your right hand forward and left arm behind. Open arm twist. Shoulders stacked over your hips. Fingertips reaching away from each other. Maybe looking over your back shoulder. Stay here. Or bring your right elbow outside your front knee and work your hands to heart center for prayer twist. One more inhale. Exhale. Plant your hands. Step back. Find your downward facing dog. Or your tabletop position or your child's pose. And breathe here a few inhales and exhales. From here, step one foot between your hands. It doesn't matter which one, right or left. Take a walk to face towards the side of your mat. Grab one block, place it about halfway between your feet. Plant your hands on your hips, and as you inhale, with a long spine, come up to standing. Keep your wide leg stance. Toes are pointing in towards each other. And keep your hands on your hips. Point your elbows behind you. Take an inhale, find a long spine. Then as you exhale, fold forward. And we'll fold about halfway down. And then drop your hands either to the earth or to your block. Depends on how far you can go with your long spine. It's totally fine to keep your hands on the block on any setting. Drop the crown of your head down towards the floor. If your hands are on the floor and your elbows are bent, bring your hands underneath your elbows. Bring tension between your inner legs. And press even weight into all four corners of your feet. Shift your hips to be in line with your feet. Couple breaths here. You plant your right hand to the earth or to your block. right about at the center between your feet. And then as you inhale, reach your left hand up to the sky for a twist. Opening across your collarbones. Again, focus into the heart center here. If you would like to deepen, reach your hand towards your left foot. Again, you can use the block. You may even grab your left ankle or left toes. And try to keep the hips in line with each other, twisting from the waist up. And then drop your left hand to the earth or to your block, centered between your feet. And as you inhale, reach your right hand to the sky. Again, if you want to deepen, reach your left hand towards your right foot, maybe grabbing your ankle or your toes. And come back to folding forward at the center. Inhale, lengthen your spine for a half lift. Exhale, walk your hands back to the front of your mat. Step your feet to the back of your mat and then drop to your knees. And find your child's pose. Long spine, focus on your breath. As you inhale, start to make your way up to hands and knees. And then roll to one hip. Swing your legs around in front of you and come onto your back. And once you're on your back, hug your knees in towards your chest. Do a rock from side to side. Plant your feet close in towards your hips, about hips width. Reach your arms long. Reach your fingertips towards your heels. As you inhale, press into your feet and shoulders. Lift your hips, low back and maybe mid back off the mat to find a bridge pose. Keep your chin away from your chest, but lift your chest up towards your chin. So chin's not tucking in, chest is coming up and forward. And length across the front of your body. Breathe here, a couple more breaths. And slowly lower back down, one vertebra at a time. Rest your hips against the floor. Then bring your feet wider than hips width. Knock your knees in towards each other for constructive rest. And bring your hands to rest against your body. Maybe one on your belly, one on your heart. Once again, bring your feet hips width, knees point up to the sky, and grab a block.
Lift your hips a little bit off the earth to find a little bridge pose, and then set your block on the low or medium setting at your low back. And then rest your low back down onto the block for supported bridge pose. If you chose the low setting and you would like to go to the medium setting, you can always feel free to do so. I don't recommend the highest setting. It's very, very deep. But if you would really like to use that setting, there's no way that I'll know, so do what you want. Come back to the mantra here of I am open to giving and receiving love. On the last few breaths we have here, you can stay or float your legs straight up to the sky, or a supported shoulder stand. Begin to drop your feet back down to the earth. And lift your low back off your block. Rest your hips back down against your mat. We're not quite getting ready for Shavasana. We're going to do a meditation. You are very welcome to stay on your back for meditation in any pose that feels comfortable. You can go ahead and come to Shavasana. If you would prefer, you can come up to a seated position and support yourself by sitting on a block or on a blanket. Get yourself in whatever comfortable position you would like. And once you are comfortable, begin to come back to the sensation of your breath in and out. And feel it softly flow. Imagine the space that you're currently in as your eyes close. Imagine where you're currently practicing, and with every exhale, allow the image to fade. And then begin to picture someone in your mind's eye that you care about very deeply. Someone that maybe is very easy to love. And capture that image in your mind's eye. And then in your head, say to this person, may you be free from inner and outer harm. May you be healthy and strong. May you be able to live in the world happily, peacefully, joyfully, and at ease. Allow that image to fade. And then in your mind, begin to imagine someone that you interact with regularly, but that you don't know particularly well. Maybe a coworker, cashier, a teacher. And capture their image in your mind. And then say to them in your mind, may you be free from inner and outer harm. May you be healthy and strong. May you be able to live in the world happily, peacefully, joyfully, and at ease. And allow that image to fade. And begin to imagine someone in your life that is harder to love, someone maybe that's causing more frustration than joy in your life. And capture their image in your mind's eye. And in your mind, say to this person, may you be free from inner and outer harm. May you be healthy and strong. May you be able to live in the world happily, peacefully, joyfully, and at ease. And then allow that image to fade. Begin to imagine a community that you belong to, one that you identify with and feel at home in. Maybe your town, or maybe a faith community or a group, or perhaps the best representation is just your family. Imagine
these people together in your mind's eye. And then say to them, may you be free from inner and outer harm. May you be healthy and strong. May you be able to live in the world happily, peacefully, joyfully, and at ease. Allow that image to fade. And begin to imagine staring at the entire planet from a distance. Encompassing the entire world. And then in your mind, say to the world, may you be free from inner and outer harm. May you be healthy and strong. May you be able to live happily, peacefully, joyfully, and at ease. Allow that image to fade, and finally, just imagine yourself. As if looking in a mirror. And seeing your perfections and your imperfections. In your mind, say to yourself, may I be free from inner and outer harm. May I be healthy and strong. May I be able to live in the world happily, peacefully, joyfully, and at ease. Allow that image to fade. And wherever you are coming from, let's meet up on the back, knees hugged in towards the chest. Rock from side to side.
Bring your knees back to center. And drop your knees to the right. Heart opening to the sky. You can goalpost your arms, or you can bring your arms out to a T. And look to the left if you would like. Bring your knees back to center. And drop your knees to the left. And look off to the right. Once again, knees back to center, and hug them in towards your chest. Inhale, and lift your forehead up towards your knees. And exhale, and extend your legs long towards the corners of your mat, starting to find Shavasana. Allow your toes to flop open and to the sides away from each other, and rest your arms alongside your body with palms flipped up. Chin slightly tucked in, back of your head resting against the earth. You close your eyes. Find a natural breath. Rest here. A couple more minutes, and then we will close out our practice. And start to take a deep inhale through your nose. And open your mouth and sigh it out. One more time, inhale deeply through your nose. And sigh the exhale out your mouth. Start to move your fingers and your toes. Start to move your hands and your feet. Stretch your arms and legs away from each other, making a full body stretch. Begin to hug your knees in towards your chest. Rock off to one side. And slowly guide your way up with your hands to find a seated position. Bring your hands to heart center. Closing out by taking a moment of gratitude. And you choose what you want to express thankfulness for today. And I want to thank you for joining in this practice. Hope you brought your whole heart into it. Let's bring thumb knuckles to the forehead center. The light in me recognizes, honors, and bows to the light in every single one of you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining in video number 4. Next week we move up the sequence to the throat chakra, which will focus on communication, getting our message out in a healthy and productive way. And there'll be a few weeks where I do 2 videos because I have fallen behind thanks to technology and illness. Really should have done that this week, but I did not. So you can just look forward to that in the future. For those who've been following and watching, thanks so much. I'm Angela, and I will be back with more next week.